Yo, what's good everyone? Thank you for tuning in to today's video. If you're new around here, my name is Aiden, and as you can see from the title, we are back again with another Air Max 1 to take a look at in today's video. Now this one that we will be taking a look at is actually coming out of left field. It wasn't until a few days before the release that I even knew that the shoe even existed. I haven't seen too much talk around it. I haven't seen many reviews of them. Shout out to Life of Broski. He's the only review that I've actually seen to date. So I personally am very excited to be getting into this one. Now the shoe that we will be taking a look at, as you can see from the title, is the recently released Nike Air Max 1 Athletic Department. Now I'm not sure if that's the official name, but that's just the name that's floating around the internet, so that's just what we'll go with. And as there aren't too many reviews on the internet right now, I personally am absolutely buzzing to have these in hand, ready to bring you guys this review. So with all things said, I don't want to take up any more time on the intro. Just sit back, relax, and let's go ahead and get straight into this video. So first things first, before we go any further with this video, let's just get the formalities out of the way and kick this off with the packaging. And like we see with most Air Max 1s, we do just get that pretty boring red Nike sportswear box. So like we see in most instances, there honestly isn't really a lot to take a look at. With that said, if we do actually take a quick look at the label which reads, we do have the Nike Air Max 1, and that is in the sail, black and light bone colourway. And as this is a personal perk, we do have a UK size 9, as that is my personal size. Now that's what the size label should look like for you guys as well. So if you do want to take a closer look at it, just pause the video right there. That's how it should look. And then if we do open up the box itself, on the inside again, your pretty standard tissue paper in there. But with all that said, we haven't really come for the packaging. So here we have the shoes. So let's go ahead and get straight into it. So without any further ado, the moment we've all been waiting for, in hand we have the Nike Air Max 1 Athletic Department. Now, as I was saying a little bit in the intro, I definitely feel like this shoe came way out of left field. And I'm not only myself, but I do actually feel like this shoe kind of caught a lot of people off guard. There really wasn't a lot of hype or a lot of information about this shoe right up until the shoe was about to release. And then as soon as these actually loaded up on the Nike app instead of Sneakers, I definitely did start to see a lot more people talking about them. Whether that was more so about the fact that they were on Nike app instead of Sneakers, which was definitely a surprise for me, or just the fact that this shoe, as of today, has only currently released here in Europe. One of the most common things that I've seen on a lot of posts and even on Erkin's video on Life of Broski is the fact that we haven't seen any release date for the States or for Asia or for Australia, and a lot of other places are kind of scratching their head wondering if this is actually a European exclusive. I really wish I could shed some light on that and actually say that this is going to be getting a wider release, or even the fact that this is even going to be extended to further retailers in Europe. I have no information on that. I did do a quick Google search. There isn't really a lot of information on it. So unfortunately, as things stand as of right now, I really wish I could give you more information, but there's honestly not a lot to go on. But with all that said, if you are actually tuning into this video today to try and decide if this is something you should be adding to your own personal collection, in this review I'm going to tell you everything that you need to know, starting with materials and going all the way through to sizing. So hopefully by the end of this video, we can help you guys decide whether this is something you're going to add to your own personal collection as well. So just diving straight into this one, starting out with the upper to begin with. And for this one, we do actually see a really nice combination of colours, including black, white, grey with this very nice hit of yellow. And all the four colours combined definitely add up to an almost comic book aesthetic as far as I'm concerned. Now I'm not sure how many people that are watching this video are part of my age range and are part of my generation, but I grew up being a huge fan of the Batman animated series, and all the four colours that they've actually used on this shoe, for me at least, definitely give off a very strong Batman aesthetic. So forget the athletic department. As far as I'm concerned, from here on forth, this shoe will be known as the Nike Air Max 1 Batmans, and I honestly won't hear anything else about it. I'm the Batman. But with that said, if we kick this off from the front of the shoe and we'll gradually work our way back. So at the base of the shoe, we do just have your pretty standard all white mesh material make up the toe box itself. And then wrapping around the toe box on the mudguard, we do have this very nice dark black colour, actually making up the mudguard itself. And it has been done of this, I believe, nubuck material. There's really no other way to really describe it. Now, I will be honest, the material they're using on the mudguard isn't of a very good quality whatsoever. It's absolutely fine for me, but I have very low standards and I'm very easy to please. As long as it's a really nice colour, I can generally get by with it. Now, that's not to say that it's a bad material. A lot of people that are watching this video will have absolutely no complaints with it. But on the flip side, there will be a few people, or even more than a few, that won't like it. So it definitely is a case of just comes down to preference. Fortunately enough for me, there was no QC issues with it, which I tend to sometimes see a lot of glue marks and scuffs and scrapes and all those other kind of things. If you've seen previous videos, you've definitely seen me harp on about it. But for this one, fortunately enough, even though the quality of the material isn't the best standard, the overall craftsmanship was absolutely fine. So with all that said, absolutely no complaints from me. And as we then continue to work our way further back the upper, we then transition into some very nice mixtures of both colours and materials. So on the U-throat, we do have this very nice, soft to the touch grey suede. And then making up this midfoot panel, we do actually have a very nice, lightly textured, tumbled leather, is probably the best way to describe it. Now, I will be honest, I'm not entirely sure if it is synthetic or not. For me personally, it makes no real difference one way or the other. But I do tend to see a lot of you guys on previous Air Max 1 reviews asking me certain things about the quality of the leather in terms of whether it's genuine or if it's not, and a lot of other questions about even sometimes what animal it's come from. I have absolutely no idea beyond the product description that's listed on a lot of these retailers' websites, so I can only really give you my opinion. And all I'm going to say is that the quality of the leather is absolutely fine. It's very nicely, lightly textured, so it's not overly done, it's not overly in your face. And overall, again, I've got absolutely no complaints with it. And then making up this midfoot portion in the middle of the midfoot itself, again, just like what we saw with the mudguard, we do have that exact same black nubuck material making up the Nike swoosh, and that is the same on both the lateral and medial sides. Now, as far as the ankle collar is concerned, this for me is definitely one of my favourite areas of the shoe, as they have definitely changed it up or made it a little bit or enough different from a regular Air Max 1 to at least stand out. Now with the collar, we would normally see just your pretty standard white mesh material like what we see with the toe box, but for this one, it's been done of this almost like grey black combination. It's like almost has like a metallic-y vibe to it, and it definitely has this really nice sheen. So in certain lighting, it has like a slightly different look to it. And I think personally the change up was definitely well warranted. It definitely paid off, and I feel like overall it is definitely one of the nicer details for me. So again, absolutely no complaints with that. Absolutely love that detail. And from there, as we do work our way up onto the heel of the shoe, it is slightly more of the same. So at the bottom, we do have that black nubuck material making up the mudguard. In the middle, we then have that grey soft suede. And then in the middle of the heel itself, as ever present as ever, we do have this very nice gold embroidery detail making up that Nike Air branding. Very, very nice in my opinion. Now, when it does come to lacing options for this one, we do only actually get one set of laces. And the lace that come in the shoe to begin with are just have your pretty standard flat white shoelace. Now, a few different people have given me a few different options as to how to really go about doing a lace swap for this one. Now, of course, the most obvious would be to get some yellow laces, or at least that was the most obvious thing to me. I ordered some yellow laces off eBay, they didn't match. I then tried the yellow laces I got with my toe yellows, it didn't match. And the reason for that is the yellow they're actually using on the shoe is slightly more of like a golden yellow is probably the best way I can describe it. And it honestly, it's not the easiest colour to find the laces to match up with. So if you do have any maybe sail laces or even black laces, they probably are the more easier way to go. For me personally, because I'm quite lazy with it, I'm just going to leave it as it is with the white laces. But overall, depending on how you feel about it and depending on what you want the look to be, I honestly don't think you can go wrong with sail, white, black, or even trying to find the exact same match for the yellow accents on the shoe. I guess it just comes down to preference, but again, for me, I'm just going to leave it as it is. Now, just beneath the lace themselves, we do have this white mesh detailing making up the base of the tongue. And then at the top of the tongue itself, we do just have a pretty standard tongue tag. And that does also feature that Nike Air Max branding, again in that goldeny yellow colour. Now, one thing I did actually want to touch on that I personally didn't even notice until I actually watched Life of Broski's video is the fact that the tongue padding on this one in particular is definitely a little bit lacking, and it definitely is a little bit to be desired. As far as Air Max 1s are concerned, I've never really noticed a tongue to be as thin as it actually is with this one. It really doesn't affect the wear, it really doesn't affect the vibe or the look of the shoe itself. But when you've got quite a few other Air Max 1s to compare it to, it just feels very thin and very flimsy and just of a very cheap material overall. So as far as drawbacks are concerned for this one, I would definitely say that the thin tongue is definitely probably the biggest main issue that I've had with the shoe. Again, it really doesn't take anything away from the shoe for me personally, but it is definitely something just to bear in mind. And as we then work our way up onto the inside of the shoe, we do just have your pretty standard black sock liner, very nicely padded like we see with most Air Max 1s, and overall, not a lot to really write home about. And as we then continue to work our way even further onto the inside of the shoe, again, we do see more of those golden yellow accents. And then as far as the branding is concerned, we do actually see where the shoe gets its name from, as we do have that Nike Athletic Department branding feature on the insole as well. And then just to close that in terms of the details, as we do work our way down to the midsole, we do have a pretty standard polyurethane material making up the midsole itself. And then also featured for the midsole, we do have a visible air unit. Now, if you do look closer at the air unit itself, it does have this very nice golden tint to it, which I personally thought was a really nice touch. And another really nice touch about the midsole, as it has been painted in that very nice sail colour. It's something we see with a lot of Air Max 1s and a lot of Nike shoe releases in general, but I feel like just because of the colours they've used on this shoe, it looks even better, gives the shoe a really nice age vibe, so overall, again, a very nice design choice for me. And then just to finish us off in terms of the details, as we do work our way onto the outsole, we do have your pretty standard Air Max 1 style of outsole with that waffle design, and as you can see, it has been done with that mostly two-tone colour combination of this black and yellow. Again, a very, very nice design choice. Now, when it does come to the overall sizing for these, like I said at the start of the video, I just went true to size with my natural true to size fit, which for me is a UK size 9. Like with all Air Max 1s, that's what I do in every single situation, and I've never had an issue so far. So as far as the sizing is concerned, I am just going to suggest you go with your natural true to size fit. Unfortunately, these aren't sitting at any retailers as yet, as again I said at the start of the video, but fortunately enough, there's an abundance of Air Max 1s sitting at retailers right now. So if you've never owned a pair, but you're considering picking these up, make sure to head down to your local retailer, try any other Air Max 1 that's sitting on shelves, because from my experience, all Air Max 1s pretty much fit exactly the same. So get your sizing right first, but true to size, you should be absolutely fine. And then outside of that, we've covered everything that you need to know. So if we now just go ahead and just wrap up this video. So just to wrap up this video, so you guys can get out of here, in terms of my overall opinion on the shoe itself, to give these a rating, I'm going to say they are a really solid 8 out of 10 for me. Now, I'm sure there will be people out there that will be giving these a higher or even a lower rating. For me, I feel like an 8 out of 10 is absolutely fine. The material quality, again, is absolutely fine, but nothing really to write home about, as I said throughout the review. The colourway itself and the colour blocking in particular are what makes this shoe what it is and why I love the shoe as much as I do. I definitely feel like it's a very nice, easy shoe to rock. It's going to go with a bunch of different outfits, and because it really ties into that nostalgic factor of the Batman animated series for me personally, that's why I love this shoe so much, and that is why I'm definitely going to be keeping this shoe around in my personal collection. Again, the QC was another reason I absolutely loved it, because again, no major issues with my pair, so hopefully any of you guys that are watching this review right now that picked these up as well, hopefully your pairs were just as good as mine, because again, QC was absolutely immaculate, so shout out to Nike for, again, another flawless shoe. I know we've complained about a lot of Nike releases, but these last few months, every pair I've been getting has been absolutely spectacular, and hopefully long may it continue. But with all that said, I'm pretty much done with the rambling. I would love to get your guys' opinion on this shoe as well. So do let me know what you think of my rating. Let me know what yours is as well. And any other thoughts, do make sure to let me know in the comment section down below. And if you have stuck around to this point in the video, as always, I do just want to say a massive thank you. If you haven't already, please feel free to smash that subscribe button. Also, do make sure the bell notification is switched on so you never miss a video. And I hope to see you all again in the next one. Peace.